Good morning and welcome to our daily devotional from Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn. Very glad to have you with us on this Thursday, March the 24th, 2022. And we are this week looking closely at the story of the prodigal son. And this morning I would like for us to focus on the part of the story that perhaps doesn't get quite as much attention as it should, and that is the last few verses concerning the older brother. And so remember that the setting for this story is that Jesus is responding to complaints from scribes and Pharisees that he is eating with tax collectors and sinners. And so Jesus responds with the parable of the lost sheep, the parable of the lost coin, and then this story, the parable of the prodigal son and the angry brother. And so in the story, the father has welcomed home the younger brother who is now near starvation, who doesn't have enough to eat or live off of. And so he returns to his father, expecting to hopefully receive some position as a servant on his father's estate. And the father sees him from far off and runs to him and embraces him and immediately calls for a celebration. So now we pick up with the brother's response to this situation in verse 25 of Luke chapter 15. So this is Luke 15:25 through 32. Now his elder son was in the field, and when he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing. He called one of the slaves and asked what was going on. He replied, "Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fatted calf, because he has got him back safe and sound." Then he became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and began to plead with him. But he answered his father, "Listen, for all these years I've been working like a slave for you, and I've never disobeyed your command. Yet you have never given me even a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came back who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fatted calf for him." Then the father said to him, "Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice because this brother of yours was dead and has come to life. He was lost and has been found." So remember that the elder son represents to some extent the scribes and Pharisees that Jesus is speaking to. As I said, they've been complaining that Jesus is eating with sinners and tax collectors. And Jesus tells the story to show the scribes and the Pharisees that they are being like the elder brother. That is, that they're concerned more about past grievances than celebrating that one who was lost is now found. The older brother is struggling, I think, with what many of us struggle with, and that is the idea of forgiveness that is so clearly taught in the Gospels, very central even to the most important prayer in our lives called the Lord's Prayer. And so how do we work on this forgiveness? How do we forgive those who have deeply hurt us or betrayed us? Well, I don't think that there is a single answer to this. Most of us need time to process forgiveness for pain that we have suffered. But we know that the message is clear that we are to forgive. And so what we're left with is generally working on ways to move toward forgiveness. That is, praying that God will help us to, in our hearts, to forgive those who have hurt us, to move toward restoring relationships, just as God has restored our relationship with God's own self. So Jesus in the story is calling the scribes and the Pharisees to participate in the celebration the celebration of those who have been redeemed, and for us, a reminder to work on forgiveness. Let's close with this word of prayer. O infinite light of truth, dawn upon our darkened minds, and lead us past all shams and shadows to thyself. Make us discontented with anything less than thee, lest we be found following broken lights or molding some image of thee from base desire. In this hour of devotion, cleanse us with longing for thee alone. O infinite life of love, the source, the way, the goal of all true life, may we feel the tides of thy being sweeping round our hearts, catch sight of that immortal sea which brought us to this point, and open the floodgates of our lives to the ocean of thy love. Forgive us for our shrinking from the light. Forgive us for all fear of love. Leave us not alone to our darkness and dread. Lift up our hearts and make us strong. Amen. Thank you for joining me this morning from Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.